99.9% of all doctors say you should use Crest. That's based on the possibility, probability that we've done the testing, and of the testing that we've done, this is the outcome that happened. But we haven't done an unlimited amount of tests. No such thing. But based on the sample size, this is what happens. And the strength of who's doing the testing, the strength of who's doing the talking, the strength of who's doing the arguing. If the Washington Post says something, unless you're a Republican and think that all Washington Post, CNN, all that stuff is fake news, but if the Washington Post says something, you're going to more likely believe it as opposed to the Onion, right? Credibility, but they both could be wrong. But you put more credibility or stock into one. You could be wrong that deviled eggs make you sick. But you could possibly be right. Right? But what grandma said, it's about to rain, my knees hurt. Grandma, what your knee got to do with the rain? Every time it's about to rain, my knees hurt. Grandma, for real? And then here come the rain, right? You're like, man, grandma. But grandma's saying, look, in my experiences, from my particular experience, from my 3 girls at B-Dubs, from my 1 deviled egg, from the times in which I've experienced a pain in my leg, I can claim a university. Maybe I should go this way. All right. So let's wrap it up. Lecture 1, I'll lecture again Thursday. You got some homework in your stuff to do on identifying premises, conclusions, identifying whether or not it's an argument or whether it's just a report or an illustration, right? What do we know about an argument? It means it has to have a claim. It has to have a justification to the claim. That's an argument. Everything else, it just could be a report. Right? 6 men were found outside of the store today after being in a shelter for 6 months or whatever. No argument, it's a report. Right? Oh, that wall is white with brown trimmings and blah, blah, blah. Just explaining. Explanation. Or description. So you'll see in your homework, you have to make distinctions. Is there a claim being made? What is a claim? Is there a proposition that has to be true or false? Yes or no? It has to be justified. And then is there something else, another statement or a series of statements that actually serve as justification? That's an argument. Anything else is a non-argument, then you call that a non-argument in your homework. I think that one of the homework says, if it is an argument, circle the conclusion. Right? Obviously, if you turn it in via Moodle, just type out a conclusion. Or you can circle and just take a picture. Whatever, right? So, you got that? So recap. Oh, and then induction, deduction homework. Is the claim a necessary claim based on the premises or a probable claim based on the premises? If the claim necessarily follows, is deduction. If it probably follows, is induction. It could be strongly probable, right? But if it's not necessarily the case. I joke all the time when they used to have grape pop. I don't drink pop as much anymore. They used to have grape pop in the soda machine on the 3rd floor here at Hollenbeck. And they would always go quickly. And so when I wanted a grape pop, I would always put a sign. I would go put a sign, and I put a sign on the grape and says, out, right? So nobody would press that button. Now you walk past, you're gonna say, oh, they're out of grape pop. You don't, and how do you know that? Because there's a sign on the machine. You don't know that to be the case. And if you knew me, I'm just putting it there so you won't get the grape pop. Right? So I come up and you say, hey, you see there's a sign there. I take the sign off. The sign ain't there no more. But it says out of order. I press the great pop. Here come the great pop. Sometimes you get that email. Y'all seen the email. Your uncle has left you $2 million. All you got to do is send me an email back with your bank account number. I mean, I guess it's possible. Remotely. Next lecture, we'll call that a weak inductive argument as opposed to a strong one. But it's not mandatory. Real quick wrap up, and thank you for your time. Logic. Logic is a branch of philosophy that concerns itself with good or bad, correct or incorrect reasoning. Right? How do we understand whether or not the reasoning is good or bad, or correct or incorrect? Is based on the quality of the arguments. Arguments are formed by premises and conclusions. A conclusion is a claim in which that I'm making, in which it has to be justified. That which justifies the claim is called a premise. So an argument has at least those two elements, one premise and one conclusion. I could have three premises and one conclusion. I have one argument. If I have two arguments and two premises, I have what? Two arguments. So the argument is linked to the number of conclusions. The premises are linked to how many times you justify. I can have one thing that justifies a conclusion. I didn't get paid last night. Therefore, I'm not going to the club and I'm not going to the store. That's two conclusions. And I definitely ain't going to B-Dubs because the girl ain't going. Right? But one premise. I ain't got no money. I ain't going to B-Dubs, talk to no girls. I ain't going to the club, and I ain't going to the store. One premise. So one premise can justify more than one conclusion, but one conclusion is only one argument, right? So after we justify the conclusion, then we know that we have an argument. There are two types of argument. There's a deductive type and an inductive type. A deductive argument is a type of argument in which the conclusion necessarily follows from the truth of the premises, right? Must follow. An inductive is the type of argument in which the premises might follow, possibility, probability from the truth of the premises. All right? So lecture 1. Get to your homework. See you in a couple of days. Peace.